put it over there. Ooh, it's been a long day, right? You ready for baseball practice?
Unless we hit. No.
Why? You don't like grounded balls?
And I do.
You don't like playing field, you just want to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Welcome to
I
every...
hit a home run. I hit a
You hit a home run? Good job.
Yeah,
good job.
my first game, at my first at bat, I hit a home run.
Awesome. Well, let's see how well we can hit a home run on our lesson. So we're going to be doing a English lesson. We're going to be reading a passage. As we read this passage, I'm going to have you read certain spots. Before we get started, what I want you to do is I want you to read this entire passage silently. And as you're reading it, I want you to think about what's going on. Like start developing a picture in your brain about what's going on. Some of these words you may not recognize much. Then again, they may all just float. But some things like a sail, right? You know what a sail is?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
It's like a sail that like boats use, or it's when you sell stuff.
Okay, so
But it's the sail like that goes on a boat, because the sail that you sell something is spelled SELL.
yeah. But if you're having a sale, now listen, this is why I bring this word up. The word sail. So as a boat sail, it's a
Oh, the boat sail.
I-L, right? S-A-I-L. When you sell something, it's S-E-L-L. This is S-A-L-E, which is still sale, but it's like when you have a yard sale. So if you took all your toys and you went out there one day and wanted to sell your toys, that's the sale we're talking about. Now, and that is what we're going to be talking about in this passage. But I wanted to bring that up because look, right here's the word sell again.
So, but it's spelled S-E-L-L.
Yeah, so he's selling something, okay? So they're all the same, which can be kind of confusing sometimes, right? But you know what? When you explained that just a minute ago, it made perfect sense. It did. I really like the way you explained that. So go ahead and read this passage quietly to yourself. And while you're doing so, kind of think about what's going on in the passage. Who is it? What is it? Where is it? You know, things like that. So go ahead. And just let me know when you're finished. When you're done, just say finish.
Done.
Okay. So what we've been working on up to this point are vowel, consonant, E. Okay. Do you know what the E does? It's sometimes called the sneaky E, right?
Or the mommy E.
Or the what?
The mommy E.
Okay, so what does the mommy E do?
So if there's a vowel,
consonant,
that E, magic E.
magic. Okay, I like that.
And then the E hops over one letter and then tells the A to say its name.
Okay, so in this word, since it's S-A-L-E, the E makes the A sound what?
A.
A, which is the
Sail.
long or short?
Long.
Long vowel, yes. So anytime you see a vowel consonant E, the E makes the vowel before the consonant say the sound of what it is alphabetically. Do you understand that? Seem to have a grasp on it. And you said it's a magical E?
Magic.
Magic E. Okay, so it kind of
Or
like
mama E.
Mama E. Okay, so the mama's like making the kids say the name. That sounds good. So I've always heard the sneaky E or I first learned the bully E. The E is a bully and it makes the A say its name, but that was back in the 80s. So.
You were alive in the 80s?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 47. I was born in 77, so. But anyway, that's how we learned it. Nowadays, I like the sneaky E, like it sneaks up and makes them say their name. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna want you to read this passage in dark out loud, and I'm gonna ask a few questions. So when you get to the word much, I want you to stop.
Okay. Dave has a sale at home. Dave's pole Eve is at the sale. It is a big sale with lots of things that do not cost much.
Okay. So where is Dave's sale at?
His home.
Can you show me evidence of that?
Because it said at the beginning, Dave has a sale at home.
Okay. Let's circle this. I'll let you do some of this. All right. Who is at Dave's sale? Is there someone else besides Dave that's there?
Mm-hmm.
What is
Eve.
Eve, okay. So circle Eve. All right, and this word here is pal. Do you know what a pal is?
Like friend.
Like a friend or an acquaintance. Like my pal Jacob. Or my pal, what's your friend's name?
Cash.
Cash. So my friend Cash. You're talking about Colin? Is that what his name was? On your Colin? No, Colton. You're talking about Colton. So you could say my pal Colton was playing a game with me on my iPad. So that's what a pal is, okay? I think you said pole, but that's okay. It's pal. All right, so let's read the next set. Stop on the word Eve.
Okay. A gate cost a dime. The kit is
Now look at that. It's the
kite is a bit more. Dave sells the game and the kite to Eve.
Okay. So you notice there's several words in here like dime, game, kite, more, Dave, Eve. All these words are vowel consonant E's. Okay. So that's what we're looking for. You did really well with them. So how much does a game cost?
A dime.
Okay. Where in there do you see that? Circle the evidence that shows it costs a dime.
Dave has what?
No, we're right here on this one.
A game cost a dime.
Okay. Does the kite cost more or less than a game?
More.
Okay. How much more, do we know?
No.
No, but we do know that it says a kite is a bit, what?
More.
More. So let's circle evidence that shows that the kite is more than the game. All right. And what does Dave sell to Eve in this passage?
The game and the kite.
Okay, so she sells both the game and the kite. So Eve has just come up. I'm sorry, my son's girlfriend is named Evie. So every time I see this, I want to say Evie, but it's Eve. So just ignore me if I mess up, or tell me and I'll correct it. It doesn't matter either way. So circle the evidence that shows that Eve bought both the kite and the game.
Okay.
On this one right here. All right, good job. Let me rephrase that. The passage actually says that Dave sells the game and kite to Evie, not that Evie bought them. Not that there's a difference, but when you're reading, details sometimes make difference. Go ahead and read this next passage. Right.
Dave has a clock to sell. Do you want a clock? Dave asked Eve. Eve thanks Dave, but Eve has a clock at home.
Okay. So, what else does Dave have to sell in this?
A clock.
Okay. Circle the evidence that shows. Okay, so he's got a clock to sell. Who does Dave ask if they want to purchase the clock?
Eve.
Okay. So he says what?
Do you want a clock?
Underline that for me. All right. So what are these little marks right here?
Punctuation.
What kind of punctuation? There.
Quotation marks.
Okay, so they're quotation marks, meaning this is something that Dave says. And then we have them, or no, we don't have them. Eve never quotes Eve. Why doesn't Eve want to buy the clock?
Because he already has a clock at home.
Okay, she has a clock at home. So circle that. Just start right here. Eve has a clock at home. Alright, move this next passage a little longer.
Eve spends a long time at the cell. It is lunchtime. Dave sells things too much on. Eve has a sandwich, a bit of date cake, and the lime drink. Lunch costs a dime.
Okay. So does Eve stay at the cell for a long time or a short time?
A long time.
Alright. Underline where it tells me that. Okay. So Eve spends a long time at the cell. What time is it? Do we have a specific time? What time does it say?
Nowhere.
Are you sure? Read that.
Lunchtime.
Lunchtime, okay, so it's not actual time, but it's a time of the day. What time would you say it is? About
12.
Okay, about 12 o'clock. It's about noon when most people start having lunch, and we're 11 to 1. So it's the middle of the day, right? She's been there a while. We probably can assume that she's only been there for an hour or two. But it's lunchtime. Who sells things too much on?
Dave.
Okay. And what does Eve get to eat and drink?
She gets to eat a sandwich, cake, and a lime drink.
Okay. So a sandwich, a cake, and a lime drink. Okay. How much does the lunch cost her?
A dime.
A dime? You get a cake and a Coke and a sandwich for a dime.
10 cents.
That's crazy. Why do you think they wanted it to be just a dime? Remember what we're talking about.
Because it's the letter E, Mama E.
Okay, so it's a vowel consonant E, just like the word lime and cake. Remember, that's what we're talking about. So these are good things to kind of remember. Look, she had a bit of date cake. A date is like a fruit. Okay, not really sure if it's a fruit or something. I don't know. They're okay, but remember, it's a date. Is another one of those vowel consonant E's. All right, so let's read this next passage.
Okay. What a cell Eve tells Dave, I am glad that I came. I got lots of things and I did not spend much cash. This is the best sale yet.
Okay. So what does Eve think about the sale?
It's good for her.
Okay.
Because
So
she got a lot of stuff.
so it doesn't say that Eve says, "Wow, what a great sale." It says what?
What a sale.
Yeah, what a sale.
That means the sale is great.
That means great. But if you didn't know that expression, you might be saying like, why is she asking what a sale is? Like, she's at a sale, but she's making an exclamation. You see an exclamation
What a
point?
sale.
So she's excited. She's like, what a sale.
Yeah, but it didn't say what is a sale.
Yes. But I'm just saying, like, that is a way of saying that something's great. So good job on that, because it doesn't say. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. Why? Why did she think that the sale was so good?
Because she got a lot of stuff and she didn't have to spend that much money.
Okay. And is Eve glad she came?
Yes.
Yeah, I would be too if I could get a sandwich, a piece of cake, and a Coke for 10 cents.
Yeah, same. My thing was a penny. Wow.
That is awesome. So let's go to this last bit of the passage, and we'll read that.
I am glad you came. Dave tells Eve, I got a ride of a lot. I got a rid.
Okay, I got
rid of a lot of things. Thanks to you.
Okay. So is Dave glad that Eve came to the yard sale?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because, you mean Eve?
What'd I say?
Dave.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you said the art sale.
Well, it says yard sale. We're assuming that this is a yard sale or a garage
You
sale.
said art.
Oh. I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
I made a mistake. We'll regroup. So you said Dave is glad that Eve came to the yard sale, but why?
Because she didn't have to spend that much money and he got new things.
So what did he get? Did he
He
get
got-
rid of a lot of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So she bought a lot of stuff basically, and which made Dave glad, right?
Uh-huh. Are we done?
Well, I got one more little thing I want to do with you, or two really, but it shouldn't take long. So here I've written out some what's, and I'm gonna keep this over here because I want to see how much of this you understood and can retain. Okay, so the what is Eve will not get
The clock.
the clock. Why? You remember why Eve didn't buy the clock?
She...
Okay. Tell me what you wrote.
She already had a clock.
Okay. She already had a clock. That's why she didn't buy one. She already had one. So next I have here, Eve is glad that she came. Why is she glad that she came?
Because she bought a lot of new things.
And didn't what?
Sold her old things.
Okay. Right. You had it right.
What did I say?
Okay. Eve is glad that she came. Why is Eve glad she came?
How do you spell new?
N E W.
New.
Okay, so she got new stuff. Yeah. The other thing that I was trying to ask you, and I probably confused you when I said that, but I was saying Evie is glad that she came because she got new stuff and didn't spend much money. But this is a perfectly good answer, okay? All right. So the last what and why.
Dave is glad that Eve came.
Why is Dave glad that Eve came?
He got lots of money.
Okay. I really like your handwriting. Good job. The other thing, there's another thing why Dave was glad that not only did he get money, but how did he get money?
By selling stuff.
So he got rid of stuff and got a lot of money. But you're right. All right, last part. It's just 6 questions.
Okay. Who came to Dave's cell?
Who came to Dave's cell? His yard sale. Okay, Eve came to his yard sale, that's right. List some things Dave had for sale.
A clock.
Oh, he did have a clock. I wasn't even thinking about the clock. I'm looking up here at the hint that they give me. Put one more thing on there. A lunch, yeah. I wasn't even thinking about lunch either. Is there anything else that you can remember him having to sell? What were the first 2 things that Eve bought?
A drink.
Okay, yeah, drink. Let's go to number 3. What did Eve get
Juice.
at the sale? Do you remember there was?
Wait, can I see the passage?
You can. Bless you. Okay.
A game.
A game. What else? Right?
A lunch.
Okay. What about it? Is there anything else with the game? What is this?
A dime in the sky.
What is that?
It's shaped like a dime.
That's a kite. Do you remember she brought a game and a kite? Remember the kite
And
costs
lunch.
more than the game, and she bought lunch. You must be hungry because you keep going back to lunch. You want some of that cake, don't you? What did Eve not want at the sale? A clock.
What did lunch cost?
That's right, a dime. Was Dave glad Eve came to the sale? All right. And that is all of our lesson. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You did great. You ready to go play some, practice some baseball?